is a frequency. Success is not something that is chased down with force. It is something that flows to you naturally when you become the kind of person it seeks. The very idea of chasing success implies that it is running away from you, that it is out of reach, that you must pursue it endlessly, and perhaps never quite catch it. But this belief is a misunderstanding of how success operates in life. True success, the kind that is sustainable, fulfilling, and aligned with your purpose, is never the result of blind hustle or frantic motion. It is a result of alignment, of preparation, of inner growth. Success is attracted to you by the kind of person you are becoming. Consider the principle of magnetism. A magnet does not beg iron to come to it. It simply is a magnet, and its very nature causes iron filings to move toward it. This is not magic, but a law of physics. And life mirrors this same law in the realm of achievement and fulfillment. When you spend your time becoming a person of value, cultivating discipline, expanding your thinking, developing purpose and vision, you are setting yourself apart from the crowd that is merely chasing results. You become a force, not of need, but of influence. You are no longer desperate for success. You are ready for it, and that readiness has its own power. This is the difference between doing and being. Most people focus entirely on doing more, doing faster, doing louder. But doing without being is often ineffective. Is a frequency. You can take all the right steps, follow all the right routines, and mimic what others are doing. But if you have not developed the inner strength, belief, clarity, and discipline that supports that action, your results will be fleeting. Being is about who you are when no one is watching, is a frequency. It's about the thoughts you think, the habits you nurture, the character you build, and the energy you carry. Being is what determines the quality and consistency of your results. There is a powerful truth in the statement. You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want wealth but carry a mindset of scarcity, you will repel financial opportunities. If you want love but feel unworthy inside, you will push genuine connections away. If you want freedom but live in fear and indecision, you will always find yourself trapped. You must first become the version of yourself who is capable of receiving and holding what you want. Only then does it arrive and stay. This process begins by taking responsibility for your inner world. You must examine your thoughts, beliefs, self-image, and daily habits. Are they aligned with the version of you who already has the success you desire? Do you speak as that person would speak? Do you carry yourself with that level of certainty? Do you treat your time and energy as that person would? If not, it is time to shift. Wealth is a frequency, not tomorrow, now. Because the longer you wait to become that version of yourself, the longer you delay the arrival of the results you're working so hard for. It is not about faking confidence or pretending to be someone you're not, is a frequency. It's about growing into someone you've always had the potential to be. There is a difference between imitation and transformation. Imitation is shallow and temporary. Transformation is permanent and magnetic. When you transform your beliefs, your character, your focus, and your standards, you change your energetic state. And that changes what is drawn into your life. So when you think about success, stop asking, what do I need to do? And start asking, who must I become? That question changes the game entirely. It forces you to look inward instead of outward, is a frequency. It forces you to take control of your life at the level of identity. And identity is what determines results over the long term. You can't attract what you haven't prepared for. The universe, life, God, whatever you believe in, does not deliver success by accident. It delivers it to those who are ready, those who are aligned, and those who have become the living embodiment of what they ask for. You can work as hard as you want, but if you are not becoming the person who is built to carry what you want, you will either miss it or lose it. Therefore, the work is not to chase. The work is to become disciplined, become focused, become grounded in faith, become unshakable in your purpose, Become someone whose presence commands opportunity without begigging for it. When you do this, success no longer becomes a goal to chase. It becomes a mirror that reflects who you have become. The world responds not to your wishes, but to your energy. So the path to attracting success is not in chasing it, but in raising your inner standard so that it has no choice but to find you. Is a frequency. Your thoughts are not passive flickers in the mind. They are living, active forces that shape your destiny. Is a frequency. Every thought you entertain carries a vibration, a frequency, and this frequency determines what you draw into your life. Is a frequency. Just as a radio must be tuned to a specific channel to receive a clear signal. Your mind must be tuned to the right frequency to receive the outcomes you desire. What you think consistently becomes what you feel, and what you feel determines the energy you emit. That energy acts as your magnetic field, quietly pulling toward you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that resonate with the state of your inner world. This is not about wishful thinking or momentary positive affirmations. It's about the dominant mental atmosphere you live in daily. If your mind is saturated with fear, worry, doubt, and limitation, you are tuning yourself to a frequency of resistance. On that channel, you'll meet obstacles, confusion, and repeated failure, not because you are cursed or unlucky, but because you are operating on the wrong frequency for the results you desire. On the other hand, when your thoughts are governed by clarity, confidence, purpose, and gratitude, you align with a frequency that invites cooperation, insight, and growth. Is a frequency. Most people do not realize how careless they are with their thoughts. They allow random fears to dwell in their minds. Wealth's a frequency. They rehearse past failures and imagine future disasters. Is a frequency. They speak to themselves in the language of defeat without realizing that each thought compounds, builds momentum, and becomes a magnet for similar energies. A mind filled with lack cannot attract abundance. A mind dominated by self-doubt cannot sustain success. The thoughts you hold repeatedly form a magnetic blueprint, and life responds accordingly. To change your results, you must begin by mastering the inner conversation. What do you say to yourself when no one is around? Do you criticize yourself more than you encourage yourself? Do you anticipate setbacks more than victories? This inner dialogue, whether empowering or disempowering, is not private. It is projected into your energy field, and it teaches the world how to treat you, a frequency. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," the world reflects back situations that seem to confirm it. If you think, "Wealth is a frequency, I'm capable and I'm ready," the world offers you evidence to support that belief. This is why you must guard your mind as you would guard a treasure. Your mind is your command center. It is the origin of every result you experience. Whatever dominates there will dominate your reality. Thoughts are not just ideas, they are seeds. Plant negative ones, and your life grows weeds. Plant powerful, focused, intentional thoughts, and your life becomes a garden of potential. But this process is not automatic. It requires discipline. You must become conscious of what you allow to live in your mind. The most successful individuals in history have all shared one trait. They trained their thoughts. They refused to dwell in fear. They rejected the idea of failure as final. They cultivated faith, not only in external success, but in their ability to handle adversity, to rise above challenges, and to create something meaningful. Their thoughts were aligned with victory, not defeat. And this alignment made them magnetic. People were drawn to them. Opportunities flowed to them. Solutions appeared for them, not because of chance, but because of deliberate mental conditioning. You must do the same. Begin each day by choosing your thoughts as carefully as you choose your clothes. Decide the frequency you will operate on, whether it be gratitude, courage, or faith, and return to it repeatedly throughout the day. When fear creeps in, counter it with truth. When doubt whispers, silence it with evidence of your strength. This mental repetition builds a new default setting in your mind, and soon enough, your outer life begins to catch up with your inner world. Understand this deeply. You cannot hold conflicting thoughts and expect a clear result. Use a frequency. You cannot think success in the morning and failure by the afternoon, then wonder why nothing changes. Consistency is key. Wealth is a frequency. Your thoughts must become anchored in certainty and expectation, in purpose. Wealth a frequency, and the consistency will create a magnetic force around you that is undeniable. Ultimately, wealth is a frequency. Your life is a reflection of the thoughts you've believed the most. If you don't like what you're attracting, it is not the world you must fight. It is the thought patterns you must transform. Train your mind to see possibility. Train your mind to believe in your power. Train your mind to expect success. And you will draw into your life everything that aligns with the frequency of that expectation. Wealth is a frequency, because the thoughts you think most are the foundation of the life you live next. Belief is the invisible foundation upon which every visible result is built. You may have talent, intelligence, education, resources, and opportunity. But if belief is missing, all of these will fail to reach their full potential. Belief is what turns possibility into reality. It is the inner force that activates your mind, directs your actions, and shapes the world around you. Without belief, you are like a ship with no sail, present, but unable to move forward with purpose. With belief, you become unstoppable. Many people attempt to create change in their lives by focusing on the external. They try new strategies, set new goals, take new steps. Is a frequency, but they do not address the internal narrative, the quiet voice that whispers, "I'm not good enough. I'm too late." Or, "This won't work for me." That voice, if left unchecked, overrides all effort. You cannot consistently produce results that are beyond what you believe is possible for you. Your belief sets the ceiling. It defines the limits. And it determines how far you are willing to go. Consider this: two people with the same skills can set out to accomplish the same goal. One fails, the other succeeds. What made the difference? It wasn't knowledge, it wasn't talent, it was belief. The one who believed in their vision kept moving, even when things looked impossible. They found solutions where others saw dead ends. They kept their energy high when others gave up. Belief fuels action, and action, repeated with conviction, invites results. Belief is also contagious, is a frequency. When you carry a strong belief in yourself and in your mission, other people feel it. They respond to it. They trust you more. They are more willing to support you, to invest in you, and to stand beside you. Why? Because your certainty gives them certainty. Your confidence inspires confidence. People may not remember all the words you speak, but they will always feel the energy of your belief. That energy either invites them or repels them. So ask yourself, what do people feel when they encounter you? Do they feel conviction and strength, or hesitation and self-doubt? This is why belief must not be left to chance. It must be built, cultivated, protected. The world is full of forces that try to weaken your belief. Setbacks, criticism, comparisons, past failures, and societal conditioning. If there's a frequency, if you are not deliberate in reinforcing your belief every day, these outside forces will chip away at it until it crumbles. You must become your own protector. Speak words to yourself that affirm your worth. Surround yourself with people who uplift and believe in you. Feed your mind with stories, ideas, and evidence that strengthen your confidence. Belief is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. It is also important to understand that belief does not require evidence before it begins. In fact, belief often comes before evidence. It's easy to believe after you've succeeded. But the strongest form of belief is believing when there is no proof yet. When nothing has shown up, when nothing is working, and when everything seems quiet, that kind of belief is powerful because it defies circumstance. It declares, "I will see it because I believe it," not, "I will believe it when I see it." This mindset is what separates average lives from extraordinary ones. Some people argue that belief without action is useless. They are correct. Belief without action is only potential. But action without belief is weak, hesitant, and scattered. It lacks the conviction that gives action its power. You must pair the two. When belief and action move together, they create momentum that is nearly impossible to stop. Each action confirms the belief, and each belief strengthens the action. Another critical aspect of belief is that it must be directed inward first. You cannot wait for others to believe in you. You must go first. Waiting for external validation is a trap. Most people will not believe in your dream until after you succeed. That's not their fault. It's human nature. But your job is not to wait. Your job is to lead. Your belief must be so strong that it becomes unshakable, even when no one else sees what you see. You must learn to validate yourself, trust your own voice, and move forward with inner certainty. Ultimately, belief is what opens the door to success. It is the key that unlocks your potential. Without it, you hesitate, you procrastinate, and you settle. With it, you dare, you act, and you persist. The person who believes in themselves deeply and without apology will always find a way. And as you continue to strengthen this belief, through repetition, through action mindset, you will become a magnet for success. Wealth is frequency, not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. Character is the foundation of your true power. While skills can be learned and strategies can be taught, character must be built from within. It is not something you inherit or purchase. It is something you earn through discipline, decision, and dedication. In the realm of personal growth and lasting success, character is the strongest magnetic force you can possess. It is your unseen reputation, frequency, the essence of who you are when no one is watching. And make no mistake, success is always watching. You may attract temporary opportunities through charm, talent, or connections, but without character, those opportunities will not last. Success may visit you, but it will not stay. Because success is not just about achievement, it is about alignment. To maintain lasting success is a frequency. The person you are must be able to hold and honor the life you desire. And that comes down to character. It is the inner infrastructure that determines whether you rise, fall, or sustain. What is character exactly? It is the collection of values, habits, and standards that govern your behavior. It is how you respond under pressure. It is whether you keep your word when it's no longer convenient. It is how you treat people who cannot do anything for you. It is the way you handle failure and the way you carry yourself in victory. It is whether you take shortcuts or stand firm in integrity when no one would notice the difference but you. These things may seem small, but they define everything, because life has a way of testing your foundation. Sooner or later, you will be challenged by delays, by betrayal, by adversity, by success itself. And when those tests come, it will not be your skills or your knowledge that determine your outcome. It will be your character. That is the part of you that decides whether you crumble under pressure or rise with resilience. Character also determines how others respond to you. People may be attracted to talent, but they are loyal to character. They may admire your success, but they will only trust you if you consistently live by principles. In business, in relationships, in leadership, in life. Character is a currency that builds credibility, and credibility is what opens doors, sustains partnerships, and creates influence that endures. Without it, all success is temporary. If you want to attract meaningful success, not just money, but fulfillment is a frequency, impact, peace, and purpose, then you must develop yourself into a person who naturally holds those qualities within. That means building habits that support integrity. It means making decisions based on values, not just convenience. It means being honest when it costs you, showing up when it's hard, and doing what is right even when no one is applauding. These are not grand gestures, but daily disciplines. It may feel slow at times. You may wonder if your efforts are being noticed, if your integrity is worth it, especially when you see others succeed through shortcuts or manipulation. But remember these, the rewards of character are not always instant, but they are always permanent. What you build through strength of character will last. And eventually, you will become magnetic. Not in a flashy, superficial way, but in a deep, steady, unshakable way that draws the right people, the right opportunities, and the right outcomes into your life. There is something undeniable about a person of character. You can sense it. You can feel it in their presence, hear it in their words, and witness it in their choices. They don't need to promote themselves. Their life speaks for them. And because their life is built on something real, it is respected, even by those who disagree with them. If you are truly serious about attracting success, make a decision today to prioritize character above convenience. Let discipline guide your habits. Let integrity lead your actions. Let responsibility shape your responses. Don't just look like the part. Be the part. Because in the long game of life, the one with the strongest character always wins. They may not rise the fastest, but they rise the farthest. And once they rise, they stay. Is a frequency. Your character is your magnet. It is what makes you dependable, trustworthy, and respected. Is a frequency. It is what turns effort into excellence and vision into legacy. When you commit to building character, you no longer have to chase success. Because success will recognize you, be drawn to you, and ultimately be sustained by who you have become. Wealth is a frequency. Your environment is not just where you live or work. It is a direct reflection of your inner world. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, the routines you follow, and even the physical space you inhabit all mirror the energy, beliefs, frequency, and standards you hold within yourself to change your life in a lasting and meaningful way. You must begin by changing the internal environment of your mind, because it is the root from which your external world grows. Many people try to upgrade their lives by shifting their surroundings, moving to a new place, changing jobs, buying new things, or finding new friends. But if they do not first transform their inner beliefs, mindset, and self-image, they end up recreating the same results in a different setting, a frequency. The same problems follow them. The same frustrations reappear. That's because the outer change was not supported by inner growth. True transformation always begins within. Your internal environment consists of your dominant thoughts, your emotional state, your beliefs about yourself and the world, and your subconscious programming. These invisible elements determine the kind of people you attract, the opportunities that come to you, and the patterns that repeat in your life. If you carry around a mindset of limitation and fear, your outer world will echo that. You'll find yourself surrounded by scarcity, struggle, and negative influences, not by accident, but by alignment. You're tuned to that frequency, and your environment simply matches it. On the other hand, if you cultivate a mindset of abundance, confidence, clarity, and growth, your external environment begins to shift. You'll notice that new people show up, people who inspire, challenge, and support you. You'll attract different conversations, different results, and different energies. This is not superstition. It's simply how alignment works. Life responds to who you are being. But this shift does not happen by default. It must be intentional. You must take full ownership of your internal space. That means examining your thoughts regularly. Ask yourself, what kind of thinking am I entertaining most of the day? Is it rooted in hope or in fear? Do I expect progress or failure? Wealth is a frequency. Am I empowering myself or limiting myself with my mental habits? These questions will reveal whether your internal environment is one that attracts growth or repels it. From there, wealth is a frequency. Begin to design your external environment to support the inner changes you are making. Surround yourself with people who are walking in the direction you want to go. Cut off relationships that drain your energy, lower your standards, or feed your fears. Your circle matters, not because of status or appearance, but because energy is contagious. If you spend your time around people who settle, complain, or make excuses, that becomes your normal. But when you consistently interact with people who are disciplined, optimistic, driven, and solution-focused, you naturally rise to meet that level. You must also protect your physical environment. Create spaces that reflect your desired identity. Is your home, office, or digital space organized and inspiring, or cluttered and draining? The state of your physical space influences your mindset more than you realize. A chaotic environment often mirrors a chaotic mind. Clean it up, and you'll often find mental clarity returning as well. And just as important as physical space is your time. Your calendar reflects your priorities. Fill your time with activities that support your growing, reading, writing, goal setting, deep thinking, exercise, meaningful conversations. If your time is constantly consumed by distractions, entertainment is a frequency, or empty business, your environment will never rise above mediocrity. You is a frequency. The way you spend your time builds your atmosphere. It either elevates your energy or depletes it, is a frequency. When your inner and outer environments begin to align with your higher self, the person you are becoming, something powerful happens. You no longer feel like you are forcing progress. Growth becomes natural. Motivation flows with ease. Discipline becomes a rhythm, not a burden, because now everything around you is supporting who you are. You are not fighting your environment, you are being lifted by it. To attract success, build an environment that reflects success. This does not mean perfection or luxury. It means order, intention, inspiration, and alignment. Whether it's your thoughts, your habits, your space, or your circle, everything must support the person you are becoming. Don't underestimate the power of environment. It shapes you more than your willpower ever could. Create a life that makes success inevitable, not frequency, not difficult. Because once your internal world and your external world are in harmony, is a frequency, the results you've been chasing begin to flow toward you. Not because of luck, wealth is frequency, but because you finally became the kind of person they were meant for. Action is the bridge between belief and reality. No matter how strong your mindset is, no matter how clearly you visualize your goals, is a frequency, and no matter how powerfully you believe in yourself, nothing meaningful will happen without action. Action is the confirmation that you are serious about your desires. It is the proof that you are ready to receive what you say you want. You may think the universe, life, or destiny will reward you simply because you have a great idea or a strong intention, but without movement is a frequency. That potential remains locked inside you. Only when you act does your magnetic field become truly active. There is a common mistake people make on the path to personal growth. They get stuck in thinking, planning, researching, and overanalyzing. They consume endless information. They talk about goals. They visualize the future, but they delay the actual doing. This creates a dangerous illusion of progress. It feels like you're moving forward, but in reality, you are standing still. The mind may feel busy, but life only responds to action. You cannot think your way into success. You must act your way into it. Action is more than motion. It is intentional, deliberate, and directed toward a specific outcome. Random activity is not the same as purposeful execution. Success requires strategic movement. The kind of action that stretches you, challenges you, and often scares you. And that is precisely why so many avoid it. Taking bold action forces you to confront your fears, face the unknown, and risk failure. But those who understand the magnetic nature of action know that every step you take sends a signal. It tells life, I am ready. And when life believes you are ready, it begins to respond with opportunities, resources, and momentum. This principle also works in reverse. If you hesitate, delay, or refuse to move, you send a different signal. I'm not prepared. I'm not serious. I don't believe. And life, in response, holds back its rewards. It's not punishing you. It's simply matching your energy. This is why consistent action, even when it's small, is so powerful. Each act, no matter how minor, builds the internal and external momentum needed to pull your dreams into your reality. Many wait for motivation or clarity before they act, not realizing that action itself creates both. You don't get clear by sitting still. You get clear by moving forward, trying, failing, adjusting, and learning. The road reveals itself as you walk it. Waiting to feel ready is one of the most dangerous delays you can allow. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. You decide to act even when you're uncertain, even when you're afraid, and even when you don't have all the answers. That decision shifts your identity from a passive dreamer to an active creator. You will not always feel confident when you act, and that's okay. Confidence is not required to begin. It is earned through repeated, courageous steps. The more a frequency, the more you act, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you attract. Your competence builds with experience, and your energy becomes magnetic through movement. People around you begin to notice your consistency, your commitment, and your direction. They trust you more. They respect your drive. And they are drawn to you, not because of what you say, but because of how you show up every single day. Action also strengthens belief. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's waking up early, making the call, showing up to the meeting, or finishing the project, you build inner trust. That trust is the foundation of unshakable belief. Your frequency, you begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who is capable of making things happen. And as that belief grows, is a frequency, so does your magnetic power. You attract more because you believe more. You believe more because you've acted more. It becomes a self-feeding cycle of growth and momentum. There will always be excuses available. The timing won't be perfect. The resources may not seem enough. The fear will whisper lies. But none of these are stronger than a single decision to take action now. Once you move, the energy shifts, the fog starts to clear, the path begins to form, and you realize that the only thing standing between you and the success you seek was your own willingness to move. To become a magnet for success, you must act like someone who already holds it. Let your behavior match your desire. Let your consistency speak louder than your doubts. And above all, a frequency. Never forget that action is the key that unlocks everything. You don't attract what you talk about or hope for. You attract what you work for, move toward, and embody through action. When you act, you align. When you align, you attract. And when you attract, success becomes inevitable. Wealth is a frequency. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. This is one of the most powerful truths in the journey toward success. And it is often misunderstood or overlooked. People spend much of their lives wanting things, wanting wealth, health, love, recognition, peace, freedom. They hope, wish, pray, and visualize. But if their inner identity, their habits, beliefs, values, and behavior doesn't match what they want, it will not arrive. Or worse, it may arrive and quickly vanish because they weren't the kind of person who could hold it. Success is not something you chase. It's something you align with by transforming into the version of yourself who naturally lives the life you desire. This principle goes deeper than simply thinking positively or having faith in your goals. It calls for total internal alignment. It asks, are you being the person who lives the life you claim to want? Because if your current identity is rooted in scarcity, fear, procrastination, or self-doubt, you will continually sabotage your path. Not intentionally, but automatically, because your inner world creates a filter through which you interpret opportunities, take action, and shape your results. You might see an open door and hesitate. You might receive a chance and assume you're not ready. This is not because the opportunity wasn't real, but because your self-image didn't match it. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. It regulates what you allow, what you expect, and with a frequency, and what you pursue. If you're set to 70 degrees internally, even if a brief spike in results takes you to 90 degrees, is a frequency. You'll subconsciously find ways to bring yourself back to where you feel safe. The outer temperature may rise, but the inner setting pulls you back down. That's why so many people who win money lose it. That's why people find love and then push it away. That's why opportunities come and go without lasting change. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-concept. To truly attract and sustain success, you must become the version of yourself who already has it. You must think like them, act like them, speak like them, and make decisions like them. Not as performance or pretense, but as genuine transformation. This is not about faking it. It's about living into it. Start asking, what would the most successful version of me do today? Then do that. Not tomorrow. Today. When repeated over time, those decisions shape your character, and that character creates the reality you live in. You must also understand that you are always attracting according to your vibration. Your thoughts, emotions, habits, and energy emit a signal. That signal draws people, experiences, and situations into your life that are in harmony with it. If you operate from a frequency of lack, you'll meet more lack. If you operate from a frequency of confidence and certainty, you'll encounter more paths that lead to growth. The outside is always mirroring the inside. This isn't metaphysics. It's psychology, biology, and behavior. Your energy, your tone, your posture, your decisions, all of it reflects who you are being, and the world responds accordingly. Transformation begins with identity, not with outcome. Stealth is a frequency. Stop trying to get you want without changing who you are. You must become the magnet. That means shedding the parts of you that no longer serve your future. It means letting go of excuses, blame, laziness, and fear-based thinking. It means rising above your past, even when it tries to pull you back. Growth is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Every version of you that has lived up until now has brought you here, but it will not take you there. You must upgrade yourself from the inside out. Everything you desire is already waiting for the version of you who is ready to receive it. The question is, are you willing to become that version? Is a frequency. Are you willing to act before you feel fully ready? Are you willing to break old patterns, shift your standards, and believe in your future more than your past? Because the moment you begin being the person you need to be, life begins responding differently. You will feel the shift. People will treat you differently. Results will come faster. Doors will open. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally became aligned. Attraction is not magic. It's a reflection. You do not get what you merely hope for. You get what you embody. Your job is not to beg for success or wait for it to find you. Your job is to build yourself into someone success cannot ignore. Speak with conviction. Walk with purpose. Lead with intention. You are not preparing for success. You are becoming it. And once you become it, frequency, you no longer have to ask for what you want. It finds you, because the world cannot help but reflect who you truly are.